Chapter 32, 10,000 Soul Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this the place? Li Qingyun stood in the house where Xuanhuan used to live. The house was built in front of the 30-acre spiritual field. The interior decoration was exquisite, and many of the utensils were something that Li Qingyun had never seen before. He couldn't help but curse Xuanhuan, the old thief, for being arrogant and extravagant. It's right here. Lin Zhixiao said respectfully, the mechanism of the underground entrance is in the cup on the tea table. Oh, Li Qingyun walked towards the yellow wooden table that Lin Zhixiao pointed to, reached out and held the teacup on the table, and turned it gently. The floor under his feet made a rumbling sound and cracked. Li Qingyun increased his strength and twisted the teacup hard to the bottom. A one-person-wide passage appeared under the floor. The passage was deep and dark, and a heart-pounding cold and evil breath emanated from it. Li Qingyun frowned. The feeling of this breath, I seem to have heard of it somewhere. Do you want to go down with me? Li Qingyun turned around and asked. Lin Zhixiao bowed with both hands, looking like he was scared. Please spare me, and said, Zhixiao, you should stay up there to keep watch for the master. Li Qingyun, you stay up there and be safe, I'm going down. After saying this, Li Qingyun flew down the passage. There were stone steps on the passage, but for safety, Li Qingyun did not step on the steps, but used the walls on both sides to sprint for a short distance instead of walking. The passage was long and winding, with water dripping from time to time, and some dirty toads and strange animals jumping around in it, making creepy noises. After about a cup of tea, Li Qingyun saw that the front suddenly became clear, the passage became wider, and a bright green light appeared. Li Qingyun rushed over quickly, because at this time the evil and cold breath became extremely strong, and this breath was emitted from that light. At this time, a voice suddenly came from the light, and the empty underground space sounded very strange. Xuanhuan, it has been 2 months since you last came in, and the 9th pill is about to be refined. Does the elder have any instructions? Li Qingyun was already close to the light at this time, but the man did not realize that he was not Xuanhuan, and he didn't look at him. He was shocked by the situation in front of him at this time. The green light was actually emitted by a golden alchemy furnace. The alchemy furnace was golden all over, 3 feet high, and its shape had the unique sense of majesty and righteousness of the alchemy furnace, but at this time, there was a ball of light like a ghost fire under the alchemy furnace, emitting a palpitating evil aura. You are not Xuanhuan. A dwarf with a faint green skin was squinting his eyes. He was originally sitting next to the alchemy furnace. Seeing that Li Qingyun didn't reply for a long time, he jumped back alertly and said in surprise. Who are you? The dwarf screamed, as if Li Qingyun was the scary one. Li Qingyun did not reply, but continued to observe the situation of the alchemy furnace carefully. The ghost fire under the alchemy furnace was fueled by a special kind of spiritual rice. No wonder it was so strange. Tell me. Who are you? The dwarf seemed to be frightened by Li Qingyun, and his voice was trembling slightly at this time. What are you afraid of? Li Qingyun looked at the dwarf with a terrifying face, feeling a little unsure, and asked tentatively, unexpectedly. The dwarf knelt on the ground with a thump. Senior, spare my life. Well? You call me Senior? Li Qingyun asked in surprise. Senior stood within 10 feet of the Xuanhuan pill, but his whole body was full of righteousness like a furnace. His face was calm and unaffected. He must be a great cultivator in the Yuanying period of Taoism. Although I am stupid, I still understand these principles. The dwarf lay on the ground, trembling all over. At this time, he was obviously extremely scared, afraid that Li Qingyun, the senior, would reach out and crush him to death. I am only following the instructions of Situ Quan to do hard work for the soul-snatching sect. This Xuanhuan pill has nothing to do with me. The dwarf began to kowtow on the ground when he said this. Li Qingyun wanted to ask what this Xuanhuan pill was used for, but he was afraid of exposing his identity as a senior master and didn't know how to start. The dwarf said that his righteousness was like a furnace, which should be because he ate the beast meat given to him by Lu Bo. The beast meat contained huge burning energy, which could dispel the cold air on Lin Zhixiao's body, and naturally protect himself from evil spirits. What is your cultivation level? Li Qingyun asked, trying to make his voice majestic. I am an early stage of Jindan cultivation. In addition, I also practiced alchemy. I am a third-grade alchemist of the human level. I was entrusted by Xuanhuan of the soul-snatching sect to refine Xuanhuan pill for the soul-snatching sect. Okay, I know, leave your things and get out. Li Qingyun said. It turned out to be a Jindan cultivator. Let's get rid of him quickly. Don't show your true colors, or you won't be able to run away. The dwarf was overjoyed. Thank you for not killing me. You are so magnanimous, you are a great leader of the righteous way, and you spared me, a small follower. While the flattery continued, the dwarf took off a storage bag from his waist and respectfully placed it on the ground, fearing that Li Qingyun would regret it, and said, "This is all my belongings, I'm leaving now." He fled like a fly. Li Qingyun. I asked you to leave the alchemy furnace, why did you give me the storage bag too? After being stunned for a while, Li Qingyun realized that he had to clean up the battlefield quickly. If that fool, that Jindan realized and came back to find him, it would be terrible. He quickly put away the dwarf's storage bag and began to look at the pills in the alchemy furnace. There were 8 exquisite pill boxes with red carvings near the alchemy furnace. It seemed that 8 pills had been refined. There was still 1 pill in the alchemy furnace. According to the dwarf, it was the key to making the pill. The alchemy furnace began to vibrate from bottom to top, and the evil aura surged and became extremely strong. Li Qingyun felt hot all over, and the scorching energy stored in his body continued to radiate outward, resisting the loss of energy. A wanton laugh came from the alchemy furnace. This laugh was hidden in the overwhelming evil aura, which made Li Qingyun wonder, what on earth could have such a strong evil aura? Or such a pure, extreme evil aura? Suddenly, a shrill cry came from the furnace and rushed towards Li Qingyun. An unprecedented sense of life-threatening danger enveloped Li Qingyun, and Li Qingyun subconsciously used his strongest move now. Qingshan, a huge green hand appeared and grabbed a black light flying out of the furnace. The black light screamed a few times, and then made an unpleasant sound of ka, turned into black light, and died. As the black light dissipated, a black pill jumped out of the furnace with a whoosh, and Li Qingyun reached out to catch it, but the next moment, an extremely disgusting feeling appeared in Li Qingyun's body, and he even felt that his sea of consciousness was hit. He resisted the nausea and discomfort, found the empty pill box near the furnace, and put the pill in. What on earth is this? It's extremely weird, and the information emitted by this pill alone makes Li Qingyun unbearable now. What on earth is the soul-snatching sect doing with these things? Ding! Open the hidden mission, the secret of the 10,000 souls pill. Mission requirements. Find out the secrets hidden in the 10,000 souls pill. And attack the soul-snatching sect at the end of the mission. Mission rewards. Point 1, 200, 3000 genius points. Point 2, 5,000 hidden attributes, and completely open the hidden attributes. 3. Renovate a building. Note, this mission is a long-term mission and can be listed with other missions. It is recommended that the host accumulate strength before taking action against the soul-snatching sect. Chapter 33 Attraction. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Although Shentu was born ugly, he had practiced to the golden elixir stage and was an accomplished alchemist in the alchemy path. He was not without brains. Google search reading, but facing a great monk who is most likely to be in the nascent soul stage. Even if he makes a little mistake and makes his senior unhappy, his life will be in danger, so he has no choice but to slip away. Now that he had lost all his belongings, he was in great distress. He thought carefully about the performance of the senior just now. Although there were some doubts, he would not dare to let him go back even if he had 10,000 courages. Although all his possessions were important, he still knew how important it was compared to losing his life. Even if there was only a small chance of losing his life, that wouldn't do. This is the secret to his attainment of the golden elixir. Caution, now he has lost all his belongings and the errand assigned to him by Xuanhuan of the soul capture sect. He may also have provoked a nascent soul monk who appeared out of nowhere. Xuanhuan will definitely not let him go when he returns. It's better to leave early, but before leaving Dihua Mansion, as a professional evil monk, he must not remain silent. He decided to rob the Qingshan Sect closest to him. If Xuanhuan hadn't had a deal with the Soul Capture Sect, why would he have been sent here to secretly refine elixirs? This Xuanhuan used to belong to the Qingshan Sect, so let the Qingshan Sect repay this debt. Having made up his mind, Shentu rushed towards Qingshan Sect without stopping. At this time, Yang Hai Aoshua had entered the critical moment of breaking through the golden elixir. The breakthrough was so huge that a strange phenomenon of heaven and earth even appeared in the sky above Qingshan Sect. Ping'an opened his mouth and looked at the vision in the sky. His whole face was full of surprise, and Sun Liang also looked envious. The two of them were not so much standing outside the spirit-controlling room protecting the Dharma, but rather admiring and observing on the spot. Uncle Lu was sitting with Lao Donkey at the gate to bask in the sun. When he saw a strange phenomenon in the sky, he patted Lao Donkey and asked him to stand up. At this time, Shentu had arrived at the mountain gate of Qingshan Sect, and saw a shriveled old man from a distance, leading an equally dirty donkey for a walk at the door. These are obviously two mortals and an ordinary donkey who have no power to bind a chicken. As a professional evil cultivator, Shentu had no sympathy for these two people. He thought of killing these two people, and then entered the sect to kill the sect leader named Li Qingyun of the Qingshan Sect, and robbed their useless sect. Treasure house. This alchemist left this Dihua mansion. Thinking of this, Shentu no longer hesitated and killed a man and a donkey first. It was not difficult. The weather is very strange. It seems that this old man is not lucky enough to enjoy the good weather and be buried with him. Shentu burst out from under the mountain gate, and an extremely powerful aura came out of him. This aura was several times stronger than the blue stone that Li Qingyun used to defeat Luo Jingsheng. The strong man of golden elixir is so terrifying. Die! Old man! Shentu roared angrily, venting his resentment for losing all his belongings. Hitting the old man's head, it is foreseeable that the old man's head will be blown open by him. A cruel smile appeared on his face unconsciously. That the old man turned around slowly and glanced at Shentu in confusion. When Shentu saw the old man's cloudy eyes, his mind went blank with a boom. The flying body lost control and fell to the ground with a plop like a stone. The old donkey brayed excitedly, kicked Shentu into the air, and lifted him into the sky. Ah! Shentu screamed. At this time, he discovered the intention of the sky. Where was the strange weather? It was clearly the legendary phenomenon of heaven and earth that would only appear when a super genius breaks through the golden elixir. This vision of heaven and earth, this terrifying old man, this hateful donkey. Qingshan Sect is a useless sect. It's obviously a hell. Ah! Uncle Lu, what flew out just now? Li Qingyun had just returned from the foot of the mountain. He seemed to have seen something flying out from the mountain gate just now, so he asked Uncle Lu. Uncle Lu led the old donkey back to the gate casually and continued to lazily bask in the sun. Yeah, I didn't hear it again. Li Qingyun walked to Uncle Lu and said loudly, Uncle Lu, thanks to the animal meat you gave me today, it helped me a lot. If it weren't for the rich and powerful energy contained in the animal meat that Uncle Lu gave him today, he would have been unbearable by the evil spirit just walking into that secret room today, let alone the stupid golden elixir that he deceived in the end. Uncle Lu said, the sect master likes to eat, so Uncle Lu often picks up animal legs for the sect master to eat. No way, it's too dangerous. Uncle Lu, you should avoid going to the back mountains in the future. It's too dangerous. Uncle Lu closed his eyes and began to take a nap. Huh. Li Qingyun felt a strange phenomenon in the sky. He originally thought that the strange phenomenon was just strange weather, but now he suddenly felt a very powerful spiritual power fluctuation. This was a breakthrough golden elixir. Also accompanied by visions of heaven and earth. Li Qingyun glanced at Uncle Lu. Uncle Lu didn't notice such a big movement. Could it be that his guess was wrong? There is not much movement in the current vision of heaven and earth. There is a purple color vision in the sky. Purple energy comes from the east, purple appears in the sky, and gradually gathers in the spirit control room. it shows that the golden elixir formed by Yang Hai Aoshue is the 9-aperture golden elixir that has been gathered through the vision of heaven and earth. Purple level 9 orifices. The golden elixir is divided into low-grade 3-aperture golden elixir, middle-grade 6-aperture golden elixir, high-grade 9-aperture golden elixir, and super-grade golden elixir that has been baptized by the visions of heaven and earth. If Yang Hai Aoshue succeeds in forming the golden elixir this time, the golden elixir formed will be the super-quality 9-orifice purple elixir. Now it is obviously the last moment of the breakthrough. The purple gas cloud in the sky turns into a huge funnel shape, and the funnel is facing Yang Hai Aoshue in the spirit control room. The endless power of heaven and earth is being injected into Yang Hai Aoshue's body at an extremely exaggerated speed. Suddenly, "Aoho!" A huge beast roar suddenly sounded in the back mountain. Not good. Li Qingyun picked up Lu Bo and Lao Lu, entered the gate, and took out a green token from his arms. The mountain protection formation. Open. Aoho! Roar! The high-level monsters in the back mountain were attracted by the strange phenomenon of heaven and earth. The super-quality purple elixir is an irresistible temptation for these monsters. Eating this purple elixir is worth hundreds of years of hard work. Ding! The Sect's mountain protection formation is activated. It lasts for 1 hour and consumes 50 days of talent points. It can deal with attacks from monsters with strength below the early stage of the nascent soul. Buzz! A white formation light curtain rose around Qingshan Sect, but then. Bang! 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 The sound of monsters attacking the light curtain was endless. Li Qingyun took a breath of cold air. There were more than a dozen giant monsters outside the light curtain. In addition to a dozen small monsters, there was a blue giant wolf more than 10 meters high, and another giant wolf that was several times taller than the 100 apes. There was also a monster with a leopard head, but a rhino-like horn grew on its nose. At this time, it had a bloody mouth and bloodshot eyes, looking at Li Qingyun with hatred. The most important thing is, the left front leg of this monster was bleeding, and it was obviously missing a leg, and that leg, Li Qingyun's throat moved, it was obviously the one they had eaten. This guy is here for revenge. Chapter 34, Rhino-Horned Leopard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Qingyun had seen this leopard-headed monster in the classics. It was called the rhinoceros horn leopard. It contained rich fire-attributed spiritual power. Once it reached adulthood, it would have the strength of the nascent soul stage or above. The size of this rhinoceros horn leopard was obviously an adult, according to the fact that the dwarf mistook it for the nascent soul stage after eating only a piece of meat. The strength of this rhinoceros horn leopard was definitely more than the nascent soul stage. Now it has not made a move. Once it makes a move, the defense of the Sect's formation will definitely not be able to withstand it. The other Qingshan stage monsters attacked for a while and stopped when they saw that they could not break through the light curtain, and no longer asked for trouble. At this time, the strange phenomenon above Yang Hai Aoshue's head had reached its peak. The sky within a range of dozens of miles was stained with purple air. The big funnel formed by the purple air was particularly eye-catching in the huge sky. Li Qingyun estimated that at least everyone in the entire Dihua prefecture could see the strange phenomenon here, not to mention the mountainous area behind Qingshan Sect. In the depths of the back mountain, there were unknown how many high-level monsters in the nascent soul stage were entrenched, and even, there would be higher-level monsters coming. At this moment, he only hoped that Yang Hai Aoshue could quickly complete the breakthrough and not let the strange phenomenon continue. He could no longer resist the current situation. If a higher-level monster came, he would have to forcibly interrupt Yang Hai Aoshue and run away with everyone. Outside the light curtain, the blue giant wolf raised its head and looked at the white ape. The two showed a human look and chose to attack the light curtain together. The Xuanhuan-level monster attacked. The two beasts each carried a ball of blue spiritual power and a ball of yellow spiritual power, and crashed into the mountain protection light curtain. Li Qingyun felt that the light curtain shook violently. Reminder, the mountain protection light curtain is about to be broken. Do you want to continue to replenish it after 50 days of talent? Li Qingyun was silent. Do you want to continue to replenish it? Before the system finished speaking, it only heard bang, that the light curtain was broken. The blue giant wolf stretched its huge head into the sect and pressed it against a building. Ping-an screamed, and Sun Liang hugged Ping-an and retreated in panic. Li Qingyun roared, "No replenishment. Upgrade the formation for me. It takes 500 genius points to upgrade the formation to the middle grade of yellow rank. Do you want to continue?" Li Qingyun roared with red eyes, "Continue. Upgrade completed, the formation has been upgraded to the middle grade of yellow rank, which can withstand the attack of the late stage of Yuanying." Buzz, the light curtain rose again, but the light curtain was much more solid than the white light curtain last time. The light curtain shrank and rebounded, squeezing the wolf head out of the sect. The giant wolf cried out in pain and attacked the light curtain again, but this time it could no longer cause significant damage to the light curtain. Li Qingyun looked at the big funnel in the sky. It had shrunk by half at this time, and most of the energy had been injected into Yang Hai Aoshue's body. It's almost over. But not only Li Qingyun knew that it was about to end, the monsters also knew it. All the monsters went crazy and crashed into the light curtain together. Auho, that the rhinoceros horn leopard also moved. It opened its bloody mouth, and a flame spurted out of its mouth, hitting the light curtain fiercely. Flame secret. Innate secret. It is said that the monsters with outstanding talents are born with secrets. The power of this secret is equivalent to that of the secrets of human skills, or even stronger. I didn't expect that today's monsters actually mastered the legendary innate secret. Ding, start the task, kill this rhinoceros horn leopard beast with the strength of the late nascent soul, and obtain its innate secret. Task reward, 1. In view of the weak strength of the host, all consumption during this mission will be compensated by the system. Point 2, 500 talent points, and a gift of innate secret upgrade. Task failure reward, the sect will be in danger. How much does it cost to upgrade the mountain protection formation to another level? 2,000 points. Li Qingyun said, then start the attack mode of the mountain protection formation for me. Each attack can improve the power of the host's secret in all directions. Each attack consume 100 talent points. Currently, Li Qingyun's skill level, spiritual power, peak of the middle stage of foundation building, spiritual power level, spiritual power transformation, secret method control, great accomplishment of the lower grade of yellow rank bluestone. After the level is upgraded, spiritual power, peak of the middle stage of golden elixir, spiritual power level, spiritual power is subtle, secret method control, great accomplishment of the second level of bluestone. Currently, the host has 1,000 talent points left, enough for 10 attacks, that the formation roared, and the power of the entire formation gathered in Li Qingyun's body. As the spiritual power continued to gather from afar, a virtual golden elixir appeared in Li Qingyun's body temporarily. Bluestone, that the unprecedented power gave Li Qingyun great confidence. With the use of the new level of bluestone, all the golden elixir stage monsters outside the light curtain were killed by Li Qingyun with just one move. 2 more moves, the giant wolf was killed. 2 moves, the white ape died. In a short moment, the group of monsters that had gone crazy before, now only the rhinoceros horn leopard was left. The Rhino-Horned leopard had obviously realized the crisis of the situation, and let out a thunderous roar, and endless flames surged all over its body. Crashed into the light curtain. With a loud bang, the light curtain trembled violently. The light curtain is broken, do you want to continue to replenish it? Continue. Consume 100 talent points, the host now has only 4 chances to attack. Li Qingyun did not wait for the Rhino-Horned leopard to recover, and took advantage of the Rhino-Horned leopard swooping over and attacked its hind legs. Roar! The huge Rhino-Horned leopard actually jumped up and dodged Li Qingyun's attack. Come again! Li Qingyun launched another attack, this time hitting the Rhino-Horned leopard in mid-air, and slapped the Rhino-Horned leopard down. At this time, the blue stone had been blessed by the mountain protection formation, and it had enough power to threaten the life of the Rhino-Horned leopard. This attack directly hit the Rhino-Horned leopard hard, but the Rhino-Horned leopard broke through the light curtain again despite being hit hard by Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun had to replenish the light curtain again. Now, Li Qingyun only had one chance to attack, and one blue stone was obviously not enough to kill the Rhino-Horned leopard. Although the Rhino-Horned leopard had been severely injured and bleeding at this time, it looked at Li Qingyun with a very humane look, provocative and fierce. It had long known that Li Qingyun's moves were limited, and now it was likely that it had been exhausted. Li Qingyun thought to himself, "You little leopard, you are too petty, didn't it just eat one of your legs? Is it necessary to fight to the death with this sect master?" The Rhino-Horned leopard stretched out its right hoof, pointed in the direction of Yang Haiaoxue, pointed at Li Qingyun, pointed at itself, and finally pointed at the jungle deep in the back mountain. Li Qingyun said, "You mean? You only want this breakthrough person, it's none of my business. You keep your word and take the person away." That the Rhino-Horned leopard actually nodded his leopard head when he heard Li Qingyun's words. "What a pity." Li Qingyun shook his head and murmured, "I can neither hand her over to you nor let you go." Bluestone, that the last chance, the last move of Bluestone, hit the Rhino-Horned leopard in the chest. Immediately afterwards, a sky-high red light flew out of the spirit control room. It was Yang Haiaoxue who had completed the breakthrough. This red light was her all-out attack, hitting the Rhino-Horned leopard whose oil lamp was exhausted. The two attacks arrived one after another in an instant, perfectly coordinated. 10 chances were used up, and Yang Haiaoxue, who had just broken through, had all his spiritual power exhausted. Rhino-Horned leopard. Death. Chapter 35, Innate Secret Method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle was over. Li Qingyun and Yang Haiaoxue were both exhausted and collapsed on the ground. They looked at each other and smiled tiredly. Sun Liang and Ping ran over to help them up. They quickly sat on the ground to recover their cultivation. Although the strange phenomenon had disappeared, no one knew whether there would be more monsters coming. Lu Bo patted his shriveled chest, as if he was still in shock, and said, "Oh my, I scared the old man to death." After saying this, he led the old donkey and walked away as if nothing had happened. Li Qingyun. Such steady steps. How could he be scared? Such a hypocritical tone. This old man is too nervous. Sun Liang and Ping, two small bodies, quickly ran outside the sect and began to drag the huge monster to the sect. The two were already Qi training cultivators with high cultivation. They had enough strength to drag the monster, but it was just like ants moving, a little uncoordinated. After the two of them carried the corpses over, Li Qingyun's spiritual power recovered a little, and he cast his eyes on the pile of monster corpses in front of him, a great harvest. There were 10 corpses of Jindan stage monsters, 3 of Yuanying stage, and one of them was a rhinoceros horn leopard with a natural secret method, and it was very likely 2 secret methods. One move was the fire-breathing move in the early stage, and later it used another move, with flames all over its body. It was very likely another move. Innate dual secret methods. Thinking of this, Li Qingyun's eyes were full of heat, and he flew onto the leopard head of the rhinoceros horn leopard. If it weren't for the fact that the rhinoceros horn leopard had obviously been seriously injured before, and one of its legs had been lost, the strength of himself and Yang Haiaoxue would not be enough to kill it. This time it was obviously a missed opportunity, but I don't know who had severely injured this rhinoceros horn leopard before. The horn was huge, slightly tilted upwards, dark yellow, with mysterious patterns. Li Qingyun took a deep breath and suppressed the heat in his heart. The dual secret methods must be in this horn. Spiritual power was continuously input into the horn. After a while, the horn gradually shrank, and finally changed from half a person's height to the size of a palm, and fell into Li Qingyun's hand. Got it. Ding, get the natural secret method. The task is completed. Task reward, 1,500 genius points. Point 2, replenish all genius points consumed during the battle, and compensate 300 genius points in the form of genius points for spiritual power consumption. Point 3, free evolution of the natural secret method once. A pile of monster corpses were piled on the ground in a mess and blood, and Ping actually swallowed hard at this time, looking at Li Qingyun greedily, and asked, "Master, when will these meats be eaten?" Li Qingyun. Yes, master, how to deal with these meats? Sun Liang also looked at Li Qingyun seriously and asked. Pickled. After saying this, Li Qingyun shook his sleeves and left. Humph, these two kids are too cruel, it's such a cruel monster, but they insist on talking about meat. Really, who taught me that? 10 demon pills of a Jindan stage monster are worth about 10,000 spirit stones, the inner pill of a giant wolf is worth 8,000, the value of a white ape is 10,000, and the value of a rhino-horned leopard. I don't know, but a rhino-horned leopard needs a rare beast, so the value must be higher. This time, at least 40,000 spirit stones were earned, plus the more than 10,000 spirit stones before. Li Qingyun seems to have made a fortune. But when I think about the free time of the spirit control room, it will consume 10,000 spirit stones every day, and the spirit gathering array is even worse. If the spirit gathering stones are used up, the daily consumption is also a bottomless pit. However, these are not the biggest gains. The biggest gain is the innate secret method of the rhino-leopard beast. He couldn't wait to take out the rhino horn, restrain the excitement in his heart, and silently sense the secret method in it. Rhino-horned leopard, a rare and extremely young and strong demon beast, with a strong body and good at fire secrets. Li Qingyun's consciousness dived into the illusion brought to him by the rhino horn. A huge rhino-horned beast stood in front of Li Qingyun's consciousness. This rhino-horned beast was bigger and more ferocious than the one he killed. It was obviously a more advanced rhino-horned beast. This rhino-horned beast stood in front of a mountain, with its head level with the mountain. At this time, it seemed to be sensing something. The world was calm, and there was a breeze from time to time, and the leaves on the mountain were rippling green waves, but the next moment, the rhino-horned beast roared, and the world changed color, and even caused a strange phenomenon in the world. Endless black clouds gathered in the sky above the rhino-horned beast, and thunder and lightning appeared in the sky. Huge lightning flashed around the rhino-horned leopard, and the thunder rolled, and the roar was endless, with an extremely huge momentum. The vision brought by this simple move was several times stronger than the vision caused by Yang Hai Aoshua's breakthrough of the golden elixir. The weather within a radius of hundreds of miles changed with the action of this rhino-horned beast. Suddenly, a flame burst out from its mouth. The flame was red at first, but it turned into white flame when it finally touched the mountain. The mountain peak of hundreds of feet disappeared in an instant when it was touched by the white flame. In the instant when the mountain disappeared, all the visions of heaven and earth disappeared in an instant, and the huge rhino-horned leopard also turned around, leaving only a majestic back to Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun murmured in a low voice, "So strong." The next moment he left the illusion. Is this eclipse wave? After experiencing this illusion, Li Qingyun had some insights and knew that the name of this secret method was eclipse wave. It is a secret method that can attack and defend. It uses fire to attack and fire to defend, and it can also enhance physical strength. The rhinoceros horn leopard in the illusion should be a demon beast that has cultivated to a realm that Li Qingyun cannot understand, but it also allows Li Qingyun to see the peerless power of the moves used by the real strong. The current secret magic grade is yellow grade middle grade. The system will give you 1 deduction evolution. Do you want to continue? Continue. Evolving. Evolution completed. The current secret magic grade is yellow grade upper grade. Host qualifications: cultivation value, 300, mid-stage foundation building peak, spiritual roots, 6 spiritual roots, foundation building, upper grade foundation building, arts, Qingyun Ju yellow grade lower grade, secrets, yellow grade lower grade Qingshan, great success, yellow grade upper grade erosion wave, entry, genius points, 2,300. Who? Li Qingyun breathed a sigh of relief and lay on his back on the bed. Since he left home in the morning, he has been running around and was highly nervous. In addition, he has experienced another environment. Now he has finally completed it. He feels relaxed all over. After closing his eyes, he fell into a deep sleep. Sun Liang came to Li Qingyun's door with a lunchbox in his hand. Seeing that Li Qingyun had fallen asleep, he quietly closed the door and left. When he saw Pingyan jumping over, he pointed at Li Qingyun with a long hiss. Pingyan stared and peeked into the room, then quickly covered his mouth. The two tiptoed out of Li Qingyun's room. The moon was bright and the stars were sparse. The milky white moonlight sprinkled on every building in Qingshan Sect, clinging to it like water. The sect was quiet and peaceful. Chapter 36 Nameless Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What do you want to talk to me about? Didn't your master let go of your soul-snatching sect a long time ago? Li Qingyun looked at Xuanhuan, who was standing in front of him with a flattering face, and asked. Google search reading, since the last competition, this man, as the only person who can communicate between the two sects, has traveled back and forth to Qingshan Sect several times, but he has never met him directly. But today he came to find me specially. Did something happen? Master Li, please forgive me. I have completed the handover of the Spirit Tower with your sect yesterday. Lin Zhixiao of your sect has officially taken over the Spirit Tower and started to familiarize himself with the control process of the Spirit Tower. Thank you for your hard work. Li Qingyun looked at Xuanhuan. He arranged this matter, so of course he knew it clearly. Moreover, he also knew that Xuanhuan would never come to him just to talk nonsense. Logically speaking, I have completed the communication between the two sects, and there is no other need for me. But, just before I left the soul-snatching sect yesterday, senior sister Yi Xiaoyu called me. Huh? Ahem. Xuanhuan seemed to be uncomfortable with Li Qingyun's sudden change in tone, and took out an envelope from his arms and said, she asked me to pass on a letter to you, and asked me to deliver it as soon as possible. Li Qingyun waved his hand, and the letter flew into his hand. Xuanhuan's face changed drastically, and he was surprised and said, this, spiritual power transformation. Li Qingyun opened the envelope, took out the letter, and replied nonchalantly, yes. Xuanhuan's heart was stirred up by a huge wave. Spiritual power transformation is generally a spiritual power realm that can only be mastered by Jindan stage cultivators, but the current information shows that Li Qingyun is only a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. How could he master it? Could he really be a hidden genius? While Xuanhuan's heart was in turmoil, Li Qingyun's heart was also not calm after seeing Yi Xiaoyu's letter. The fifth elder and the sixth elder will bring several disciples tomorrow, go around Daqing Mountain from the East Palace, and enter the Nameless Mountain behind Daqing Mountain. At this time, it is arranged by the great elder Situ Quan himself. Obviously, the plan is still the same, and the plot is very big, but I hope Qingyun brother, be very careful. The fifth elder of the soul-catching sect, Elder Lu, entered the Nameless Mountain connected to the back mountain of Daqing Mountain together. That Nameless Mountain is where the monsters come from. In Li Qingyun's mind, he thinks the existence of this Nameless Mountain is very strange, because in Xuanhuan City, a mortal city very close to Daqing Mountain, so many people have lived there for so many years. Everyone seems to know that there is an unknown mountain connected to the back of Daqing Mountain. Everyone knows that this mountain is boundless and no one knows what is connected to the depths. It is very mysterious and dangerous, but everyone knows this mountain and knows that it exists, but this mountain seems to exist only in everyone's concept, not in reality. Everyone knows that there is such a mountain, but this mountain has no connection with everyone's life. No one crosses Daqing Mountain to enter this Nameless Mountain to collect firewood, and no hunter enters to hunt. When Xuanhuan City talks about the mountain in the east, it is Daqing Mountain. No one says there are things behind Daqing Mountain. Everyone seems to be deliberately avoiding this mountain. Or, there is something in these people's minds that always makes them ignore and forget this Nameless Mountain, so much so that this mountain still has no name. Thinking carefully, there is something in it that makes people feel cold in their backs. Now the two elders of the soul-snatching sect are going to enter the mountainous area of this Nameless Mountain. Obviously, they are going to make some big moves. Moreover, it is not ruled out that they have plans to sneak attack Qingshan Sect from behind. These two people are Jindan elders. Unlike the opponents Li Qingyun had met before, he had to be extremely cautious and would not forget his true strength just because he had killed a few monsters with the help of the formation, but the first thing he had to do was to check the information about this Nameless Mountain. The Qingshan Sect had been located here for hundreds of years, and there should be classics left. Thinking of this, Li Qingyun wanted to let Xuanhuan go back quickly so that he could quickly prepare, check the information of the Nameless Mountain, go to the back mountain to intercept the two elders, or harass the two elders here. Seeing that Li Qingyun wanted to send him away, Xiong Jinmu calculated his plan and hesitated. But in the end, thinking of his experience in the alchemy room of the seventh elder, he finally took a deep breath and said, "Master Li, I have some news to tell you." "Oh. Tell me." Li Qingyun, who originally wanted to send him away, raised his eyebrows and said, "Senior sister Yi Xiaoyu is under house arrest by the elder recently." "What? Xiaoyu is under house arrest?" Xiong Jianmu said, "That's right. Currently, senior sister Yi Xiaoyu is under house arrest by the great elder in the sect's solitary chamber to receive punishment." "Punishment?" Xiong Jinmu said, "Yes, the great elder punished senior sister Yi Xiaoyu to receive 8 hours of punishment every day in the solitary chamber. This letter was given to me by senior sister Yi Xiaoyu before she went to receive punishment yesterday." Li Qingyun endured the pain and self-blame in his heart, reached out to pick up the teacup to drink water, concealed his inner tension and worry, and asked, "What is the solitary chamber?" Xiong Jinmu's eyelids drooped slightly. "The solitary chamber is the place where our soul capture sect punishes disciples the most severely. Everyone who enters will suffer mental torture." Li Qingyun's hand trembled, and the water almost spilled out. He hurriedly covered the lid of the teacup and said, "Continue." Xiong Jinmu seemed to be unconcerned about Li Qingyun's unusual behavior, and said to himself, "Master Li, don't worry. With sister Yi Xiaoyu's strength, she won't suffer much pain in the confinement room. Instead, it will help sharpen her heart. This is just the first piece of news. There is a second one. Master Li, do you know the Xuanhuan pill?" Li Qingyun put down his teacup and looked at Xiong Jinmu with a gleam of light. A quarter of an hour later, Xiong Jinmu walked out of the main hall of the Qingshan Sect and let out a long breath. The matter that had been weighing on his mind for the past few days was finally settled. Li Qingyun was sitting in the main hall, and at this time he was still thinking about the scene of Xiong Jinmu just now. Xiong Jinmu's sonorous voice was still echoing in his ears. "Although I, Xiong Jinmu, have nothing to look up to, I am just a small person, but I can never tolerate such a thing happening in front of me." Ha! He let out a long breath to relieve the tension in his heart, but the sound of his exhalation was trembling. Seventh Elder, he asked me to do odd jobs in his alchemy room, and I found out, they actually use living people to make alchemy. They use a living person to make 1 furnace of elixirs. I saw with my own eyes that they sacrificed a person alive. Although the cultivators regard mortals as ants, I can't stand it. How can this be an immortal sect? It is obviously an evil sect. I'm telling you this, Sect Master Li. Be careful of the soul-snatching sect. Li Qingyun looked at Xiong Jinmu who was walking away outside the door. He looked down on him before because he was too flattering and mercenary, but for him, these were his survival skills, which were understandable. His performance today deserved his respect. Chapter 37, 1000 Evils. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Li Qingyun searched around in the Qingshan Sect Sutra library, but couldn't find any information about Wuming Mountain. Apparently, all these books were taken away by Sidiquan, who betrayed the sect at that time. Google search reading. The Sutra library was already covered with dust, because there were not many useful skills in it, and most of them were filled with water. Li Qingyun sighed and was about to leave the Sutra library, but before he walked out of the door, he ran into Lu Bo head-on. Lu Bo held a big broom in one hand and a yellow and white rag on his shoulder, looking like he was going to do a big cleaning. "Lu Bo. You want to do a big cleaning?" "No need to clean, the Sutra library is not needed at the moment." Li Qingyun advised. Lu Bo obviously didn't hear it again, and said to Li Qingyun, "Yes, I'll clean it." After that, he lowered his head and swept carefully. In the big Sutra library, only Lu Bo was holding a broom and gently sweeping the dust, and the rustling sound echoed slowly. Li Qingyun stared blankly at the trajectory of Lu Bo's sweeping broom. He actually found that Lu Bo's sweeping had a very strange beauty, trajectory, whereabouts. In a short moment, Li Qingyun had a clue to the problems he had encountered in his practice, and he had inspiration in places where he had no ideas before. Ding, it is detected that the host is about to have an epiphany, and the practice is about to break through. Do you want to continue to open the genius point to assist the breakthrough? Continue. Li Qingyun sat cross-legged, and a steady stream of inspiration came like a tide, constantly deducing. At the same time, the bridge between heaven and earth in his body roared, and the spiritual energy was sucked into his body like a whale. The cultivation is about to break through. But Li Qingyun was not satisfied with just breaking through the cultivation. He roared in his heart, raise my Tao base to a super-grade Tao base for me. This operation will cost. Stop talking nonsense. Continue. Boom, the rate at which Li Qingyun absorbed spiritual power soared again, and even made a huge roar. Lu Bo, who was sweeping the floor, saw the dust in the sutra library stirred up by Li Qingyun's breakthrough. He sighed and threw the broom on the ground. The bridge of heaven and earth, once again changed from 9 top-grade foundation building bridges to 12 super-grade foundation building bridges. His cultivation also broke through from the peak of the middle stage of foundation building to the late stage of foundation building. But Li Qingyun's breakthrough did not stop at this time. Continue to break through. Buzz, a wave of energy swept away from Li Qingyun, sweeping away all the dust that was originally rampant, and even rolled it into a ball and threw it on the ground, the peak of foundation building. Host qualification, cultivation value, 480, foundation peak, spiritual roots, 6 spiritual roots, foundation, super Tao foundation, Kung Fu, Qingyun Ju yellow rank lower, secret method, Qingshi, great success, erosion wave, introduction, genius points, 1500. Li Qingyun opened his eyes and felt the 12 bridges of heaven and earth in his body. The efficiency of mobilizing this spiritual power was many times higher than when he had a lower Tao foundation. With this kind of power, he was confident that if he met Luo Jingsheng again, he would only need one move to defeat him. With his 2 secret methods of Qingshi and erosion wave, he was confident that he could fight against the early stage of Jin Dan. Uncle Lu, why are you looking at me like that? Li Qingyun suddenly found that Uncle Lu was looking at him with a very strange look at this time. Could it be? Master, when did you help me clean the floor? Uncle Lu said slowly. Li Qingyun rubbed his eyes. Uncle Lu was still confused and confused. Could he have seen it wrong? Yes, I must have seen it wrong. How could an old man like Lu Bo have such a look? Lu Bo, you often go to the back mountain. Do you know any legends about the nameless mountain behind? With the attitude of trying everything possible, Li Qingyun asked Lu Bo tentatively. Lu Bo did not turn around to look at Li Qingyun, but his old man's unique voice came out. Lu Bo doesn't know either, but... every time I go in alone, I will pull a donkey hair from the old donkey and put it in my arms, so that I can ward off evil spirits. Okay. Li Qingyun said disappointedly. He was originally planning to find some useful legends, but he didn't expect it to be so unreliable. Lu Bo, you go first, I'm leaving. He turned and left. Hey, the donkey hair on the old donkey is a good thing. The 5th elder and Lu elder of the Soul Capture sect are brothers. The 5th elder is Lu Feizhou and the 6th elder is Lu Feilian. The 5th elder is the eldest, with the cultivation level of the middle stage of the golden core, and the Lu elder is the younger brother, with the cultivation level of the early stage of the golden core. At this time, they were sitting upright, with serious faces, in a cave and plotting something. 5th elder Lu Feizhou said, it is still the matter of the 1st elder's instructions. If you have the spare energy, you can just attack Qingshan Sect without any effort. Elder Lu Feilian looked at his brother helplessly. He felt that he was good in everything except that he was a little too fussy and cautious, so he frowned and persuaded, Qingshan Sect is not far from the way we enter the mountain. It is not too late to deal with Qingshan Sect first and then go to the back mountain to rob. Disguise and go in. No one will know that it was our soul-snatching sect that did it. Even if the Tianji Pavilion tracks it down, it will have nowhere to start. If Li Qingyun was here and heard these words, he would definitely yell in his heart, come to our Qingshan Sect, I don't know how many spirit stones I can get if I tie up 2 more golden elixirs. The 5th elder said, Han Li is not a simple person. How do you know that Qingshan Sect has no backup plan? If it fails, the consequences are not something you and I can bear. The 6th elder saw that he could not convince the 5th elder, so he sighed and said, then let's do as you say. I know what you mean, but the situation of entering the mountain this time is extremely complicated. There was a riot in Wuming Mountain a few days ago. The great elder even sensed the fluctuation of a demon beast in the middle stage of the nascent soul. Moreover, the blood of that demon beast is extremely strong, which can rival the late stage of the nascent soul. It is very likely that it is a demon beast species in the top 1000 of the murderer list, that the 6th elder took a breath and said, is it really so? If there are really 1,000 evil beasts, we should be more careful. After all, you and I are facing 1,000 evil beasts. Even if it is an early stage of the golden core, it is very dangerous. The 5th elder nodded. 1,000 evils is the name given by the cultivators to the top 1,000 beasts on the fierce beast list. The Tianji Pavilion has compiled the strongest 1,000 kinds of demon beasts in the world, and arranged them according to the ranking. There are countless kinds of demon beasts in the world, and among so many demon beasts, the top 1,000 demon beasts all have the ability to fight across levels. The rhinoceros horn leopard that Li Qingyun encountered was obviously one of the 1,000 evils, and it was also a gifted monster with innate secrets. The 5th elder stood up and said sadly, the great elder entrusted such an important task to you and me. I really don't know whether it is a blessing or a curse, but the sect's great event is about to be accomplished. It has reached a critical moment, and we have to do this. Yes. The 6th elder said, although this cave contains great opportunities, but this nameless mountain is called a forbidden area in the book given by the great elder, and it always makes me feel uneasy. Forbidden area. Chapter 38 Gift. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before setting off, Li Qingyun chose to pluck the old donkey's hair. Google search reading that it's better to believe it than not to believe it. This nameless mountain is not far from Qingshan Sect. It can be reached by walking a few miles along the back mountain, but this place is full of weirdness. Every time Li Qingyun thinks of this place, he feels uneasy. The old donkey ate the grass in the stone trough comfortably. The grass looked like ordinary hay, but Li Qingyun smelled a burst of herbal fragrance from the grass, which was a very strange smell. Li Qingyun wanted to reach out and take a piece of hay to taste it, but the old donkey sneezed, which scared Li Qingyun. Okay, I won't fight with you for food. After saying this, Li Qingyun actually saw the old donkey rolling his eyes at him. Huh? You still despise me? That he rolled his eyes at himself again. Li Qingyun quickly scanned the area near the donkey trough and found that there was not a single scattered donkey hair. The old donkey's hair is so good. It seems that the only way is to pull it out. Old donkey, let's make a deal. Can I pull a hair out of you? Old donkey rolled his eyes at Li Qingyun again, snorted again. Humph, you dare to ask me to get out? It seems that it's time to use your ultimate move. A white light flashed from Li Qingyun's hand, and a piece of meat appeared. This meat was obviously cooked by Sun Liang, with good color, fragrance and taste, and a lot of cumin was added. According to Sun Liang, old donkey likes the taste of cumin the most. Old donkey's big mouth, which was chewing slowly, suddenly stopped and stared at the meat in Li Qingyun's hand. There's more. A white light flashed in Li Qingyun's hand again, and there was another gourd of wine. The mouth of the gourd had already been opened, and the donkey's shed was filled with the aroma of wine. Old donkey was completely uncalm, staring at Li Qingyun with fiery eyes, as if urging him. Li Qingyun smiled and said, "Can't wait?" "Well, you donkey who loves wine and meat, I can give you wine and meat, but you have to give me 2 donkey hairs." At this time, the old donkey hesitated for a moment and looked at Li Qingyun with a look of seeking confirmation. Li Qingyun said, "Yes, I am going to the mountain behind, and I want a donkey hair from you to keep me safe before I go." The old donkey's eyes flashed with a trace of entanglement, but in a blink of an eye, it was filled with a look of pain, and the donkey slowly turned its body towards Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun satisfiedly plucked 2 beautiful donkey hairs from the old donkey, one black and one white, and said, "Don't worry, I won't pluck you into a bald donkey." After that, he poured the wine in the wine gourd into the stone trough, and put the meat on the edge of the stone trough. The old donkey looked at the donkey hair in Li Qingyun's hand, and seemed very reluctant to part with it. Li Qingyun said, "Don't be stingy. I'll find you a beautiful little donkey to be your wife. Is that okay?" "Oh." The old donkey seemed to be suddenly enraged, and let out a cry of anger, even pretending to kick Li Qingyun. "Oh my God!" Li Qingyun screamed and ran away. "You are a donkey, what else can I find for you if not a donkey wife?" Li Qingyun, who ran away, was still unwilling to give up and left a sentence. Ah! The old donkey screamed in pain and cried out in grief and anger. Li Qingyun couldn't hear these donkey calls, but he knew that these were not good words. Moreover, it was obvious that he had angered the old donkey. It was unlikely that he would come here to ask for donkey hair in the future. "What is this?" Yang Hai Aoshua looked at the donkey hair handed over by Li Qingyun. "Is it beautiful?" Li Qingyun asked. Yang Hai Aoshua took the donkey hair and found that this hair-like thing actually had a jade-like crystal substance. It was really beautiful under the sun. "It's pretty." Yang Hai Aoshua didn't know what she was thinking of, and her cheeks suddenly turned red. "That's good, I was afraid you didn't like it." Li Qingyun said carelessly. Yang Hai Aoshua's face turned red again, and her heartbeat accelerated a bit. "What's wrong with Li Qingyun? He suddenly gave me a gift, it seems quite thoughtful, how should I reply to him? This is the first time he gave me a gift." Unexpectedly, Li Qingyun paused for a moment and continued, "This thing wards off evil spirits, you have to take it whether you like it or not, and return it to me after use." Yang Hai Aoshua looked at Li Qingyun with a cannibalistic look. "Okay." Li Qingyun said angrily, "Isn't it okay to give it to you?" Yang Hai Aoshua then looked at Li Qingyun with a reproachful look and put it away. Li Qingyun moved his lips and decided not to tell him that this was the donkey hair of the old donkey. Who knows if Yang Hai Aoshua, the clean-loving young lady, will go berserk like the old donkey and chase him. I am sure that I can fight against the enemy in the early stage of Jindan, but it is just an ordinary early stage of Jindan, not including Yang Hai Aoshua, the pervert of the supergrade 9 orifice purple elixir. The two quarreled for a few words and walked towards the back mountain together. Sun Liang and Ping had been arranged by Li Qingyun to practice well in the spirit control room and the spirit gathering array, striving to break through as soon as possible. Li Qingyun and Yang Hai Aoshua, the two elders, could only shoulder the responsibility of protecting the sect and explore the strange Nameless mountain. When the two walked out of the back mountain of Qingshan Sect, what came into view was a mountain that pierced the sky and a mountainous area with no edge in sight. It was dusk at this time, and the sunlight could no longer penetrate the dense and huge vegetation on the mountain, making the whole mountain look gloomy. There was a sense of desolation lingering between heaven and earth, and this aura even hindered the speed of the spiritual power of Li Qingyun and the other person. Yang Hai Aoshua looked at the Nameless mountain with a serious expression and said, "This mountain, do you have any information about it?" Li Qingyun said honestly, "No. This mountain has great horror." Yang Hai Aoshua said in a deep voice. She was usually calm and composed, but now she looked extremely serious. "Even you think this mountain is weird?" Li Qingyun asked. Yang Hai Aoshua said, "I have been to a forbidden area of a Taoist sect. It is said that an immortal fell in that forbidden area, but, the terrifying and weird aura that the forbidden area gave me, is not even 1% of this mountain. The most important thing is..." Yang Hai Aoshua turned his head and looked at Li Qingyun, staring at him and said, "This mountain has stood here for so many years, it seems to be non-existent. I originally thought it was just a deep mountain with a yuanying monster, but I didn't expect, there is such a place." Li Qingyun also looked at the Nameless mountain and said, "Are you scared? If you are scared, you can go back." Yang Hai Aoshua she asked back, "Are you provoking me?" Li Qingyun said seriously, "I'm serious. After all, everyone is afraid of death, and I am afraid too." Yang Hai Aoshue said, I may be afraid of death, but I'm definitely not more afraid than you. What's more, any dangerous place will not only have great terror, but great terror often contains unique opportunities. It seems that your enemy, the soul-snatching sect, has found an opportunity. Then we just need to find them to find this opportunity. Yang Hai Aoshue was full of fighting spirit. It seemed that this mountain really aroused the interest of her, a young lady with a similar background. Ha! Li Qingyun laughed heartily and said, yes. Let them come up empty-handed and serve as scouts for this sect master. Chapter 39 Shentu. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The fifth elder and his party had already entered the Nameless mountain and climbed halfway up the mountain. They were walking slowly backwards along one side of the mountain. There were countless peaks in the Nameless mountain. The one closest to the Qingshan Sect went straight into the sky, giving people a huge sense of oppression. The peak that the fifth elder and his party were bypassing was the one closest to the Qingshan Sect. By bypassing this peak, go down 100 feet and you will find the location of the cave. The fifth elder held a tattered piece of paper in his hand and directed the direction of the party. In addition to the sixth elder, there were 5 or 6 core disciples of the soul-snatching sect following, including Luo Jingsheng, Zhang Tianpeng, and Lu Xian. After all, this operation was extremely important, with dangers and great opportunities. Having these talented disciples following could provide training opportunities for the later generations of the sect. Hearing the words of the fifth elder, the tense expressions of the few people relaxed a little, and a hint of joy flashed in their eyes. Don't take it lightly. Although the previous journey was very smooth, it was too smooth, which was a bit strange. We may encounter dangers and difficulties that we cannot estimate next. Yes. The disciples were shocked when they heard this, and their expressions became nervous again. At this time, Li Qingyun, who was hiding in a huge tree and eavesdropping, rolled his eyes and thought to himself, if this sect master had not dealt with so many Jindan monsters and Yuanying monsters nearby in advance, would you be so relaxed? He and Yang Hai Aoshue were now turning into a green shadow, following behind these people. This is Yang Hai Aoshue's secret method, which is used to hide the traces. As long as the other party's spiritual power realm is not one major realm higher than yours, they cannot detect the fluctuations of the use and it is impossible to find the user. Li Qingyun's spiritual power realm has reached spiritual power transformation, and Yang Hai Aoshue may be higher. The 2 elders of the soul capture sect cannot find them. The secret method of hiding traces is very precious, but seeing Yang Hai Aoshue's indifferent attitude, Li Qingyun dared to conclude that she might have many secret skills that Li Qingyun dared not even think about. He didn't know how powerful this young lady was. Next, slow down and reach the destination in 2 hours. Yes. A team of people began to move at an extremely slow speed. Li Qingyun looked at the disciples in the team. After Luo Jingsheng was defeated by Li Qingyun, his cultivation was improved a little, and he seemed to have reached the great perfection of foundation building. Lu Xian and Zhang Pengtian, who were walking with him, also seemed to have broken through the foundation building. At this time, these people followed the team obediently. Li Qingyun was quite emotional. A month ago, he still regarded these people as competitors. Now facing them, he actually looked down on them. It really looked like an elder looking at the younger generation. It was already late at night. Li Qingyun didn't know why the soul-snatching sect chose to travel at night. So far, the feeling of uneasiness that Wuming Mountain gave him had not subsided at all, but became stronger and stronger. However, he did not find anything wrong. Like the fifth elder and his group, he and Yang Hai Aoshue were also too smooth. Suddenly, a few crows cried in the air, and Li Qingyun broke out in a cold sweat. An absurd but impossible thought came to his mind. Could it be that he and Yang Hai Aoshue had been monitored since they entered? Yang Hai Aoshue felt the change in Li Qingyun's expression, and seemed to have thought of something, and his face suddenly became solemn. Ah! Suddenly, a scream came from the front, but then the scream stopped abruptly, and the front fell into a dead silence again. Yang Hai Aoshue cast an inquiring look at Li Qingyun, and Li Qingyun shook his head, indicating that he didn't know what was happening in front. Go and have a look. Li Qingyun whispered, and the two slowly moved forward to find out, but when Li Qingyun saw the reason why everyone was screaming, his expression became very interesting. A green thing was holding Lu Xian and sitting on a tree, while the 5 elders and others were standing under the tree, looking at the green thing on the tree nervously. Li Qingyun listened carefully before he heard the voice. The 6th elder said, "Shentu, how come you are here? Aren't you? You still have the nerve to say that? You bastards from the soul-catching sect, I worked hard to make pills for you, but what about you? You didn't even know that a nascent soul had arrived in my alchemy room? I think you leaked my whereabouts." The 6th elder said, "Mr. Shentu, don't misunderstand. Your whereabouts are confidential. Only the great elder knows about it in our sect." "Wait." The 5th elder interrupted the 6th elder's explanation and said, "Shentu, but how did you know about our whereabouts? And you're not surprised at all that we came to this nameless mountain?" Shentu said, "This." He was too embarrassed to say that he failed to rob the Qingshan Sect and was kicked to the nameless mountain by a donkey. "Humph." The 5th elder snorted coldly, "Put my disciple down quickly and explain to us." He. Shentu laughed, but his laughter was extremely strange, like a child with a broken throat, echoing in the originally gloomy jungle, which made the originally extremely nervous people feel a chill in their hearts. "Enough. If you don't return the person, I will take action." Elder Lu interrupted Shentu's strange cry. "Return it? How can I not return it?" Shentu showed a strange expression on his face after laughing. He stretched out his tongue and licked Lu Xian's neck, from Lu Xian's collarbone, along the white neck, all the way to the chin. "It tastes good, but it's a pity that she is a slut." Shentu laughed wantonly, looking at Luo Jingsheng who was standing under the tree and was extremely nervous. Li Qingyun reacted at this time. No wonder Shentu had been taking care of Lu Xian on the way just now. So that's it, these were obviously seen by Shentu, so he looked at Luo Jingsheng with a provocative look at this time. Lu Xian was restrained by Shentu at this time, unable to move, and could only make a painful whimper. Luo Jingsheng looked nervous and worried, but he was afraid of Shentu's power and did not dare to act rashly. "Return it to you." Shentu smiled triumphantly, threw Lu Xian away, and flew down the mountain. Luo Jingsheng caught Lu Xian and hugged her tightly. "This man who wanted to save face almost cried." Li Qingyun shook his head. Luo Jingsheng was really an honest man, but women like Lu Xian are often the most suitable for honest people. The 5th elder took out a pill and gave it to Lu Xian to take. He said solemnly, "Shentu's route is consistent with the direction of where we are going." Did our whereabouts really get leaked to him? Elder Lu was a little excited. Except for the 7 elders of the Soul Capture sect and Yi Xiaoyu, no one else knew their whereabouts. "No, I think he seems to be wrong." The 5th elder's face was as gloomy as water. "That place is really not simple." Yang Hai Aoshue also whispered to Li Qingyun, "Shentu was controlled by the charm." Charm. Li Qingyun also saw that Shentu was very different from the last time he saw him. The whole person was sometimes ferocious, and sometimes as stiff as a wooden man, which was extremely weird. Yes. Yang Hai Aoshue seemed to have thought of something terrifying. Charming spirit. There is indeed something terrifying here. Chapter 40 Waste. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 5 elders decided to go down the mountain. Although Shentu was nowhere to be found, he obviously could not pose any threat to them with his strength. Li Qingyun and Yang Hai Aoshue naturally followed the 5 elders secretly, but both the 5 elders and Li Qingyun were shrouded in a fog at this time. The destination was about 200 feet below the mountain. Even if the 5 elders slowed down to the slowest speed, they arrived in a quarter of an hour. It should be here. The 5 elders looked at the broken map in their hands, then looked at the dark cave in front of them, compared it, and said, "Is there a great opportunity here?" Lu Xian asked doubtfully. She paid a great price for this mission and was even bullied by Shentu. Seeing this dilapidated cave in front of her, she couldn't accept it for a while. If the 5th elder said it was, it should be it. Elder Lu said, several people were planning to enter the cave in front of the cave. Because no one had entered this nameless mountain before, and no detailed information was left, they were very cautious about this simple cave and made several plans to be safe. At this time, Li Qingyun, who was hiding behind the 5 elders, was also thinking about when he should take action, before or after the treasure appeared. The cave was 10 feet high. It was already midnight. The moonlight outside the cave was shining white, but there was no moonlight in the cave. It was still dark. Like a gloomy and terrifying beast's mouth, let everyone's heart be shrouded in a gloom and fear. The people in front of the cave had obviously discussed the plan and started to act. A huge night-shining pearl appeared in the hand of the 5th elder. With a slight urging, a huge light spread out from his hand, illuminating a part of the cave. The entrance of the cave was very empty, without any artifacts or traces, just an empty and smooth stone wall. Seeing this situation, the 5th elder waved his hand and sent 3 disciples to go in with him, leaving the 6th elder outside to keep watch for him. Seeing this situation, Yang Hai Aoshue pulled Li Qingyun to deal with the 6th elder who was alone outside, but Li Qingyun stopped Yang Hai Aoshue with a serious look. Ha ha ha. Shentu's rampant laughter came from the cave with the echoing hum. Not good. The 6th elder shouted and rushed into the cave with the other 3 disciples, but at this moment, Li Qingyun's hair stood on end, and a creepy feeling enveloped his whole body. A shrill cry suddenly came from far away, attacked his mind from a distance, and enveloped his whole body. Life and death crisis. Li Qingyun roared, picked up Yang Hai Aoshue beside him and rushed down the tree, but the thing behind him chased him closely. Helplessly, Li Qingyun had to run into the cave. Sure enough, when they were following the 5th elder, there was also something following them from behind. What was even more terrifying was that he could not detect it. While tracking Li Qingyun, the thing emitted a cry that made his hair stand on end. Li Qingyun hugged Yang Hai Aoshue's waist and ran away. Yang Hai Aoshue was paralyzed and hot all over, like mud, and was only held by Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun thought, how could this woman fail at the critical moment? She was scared by a ghost and couldn't do it. There were 3 intersections in front of him. At this time, he could no longer sense the location of the 5th elders. Where did the 5th elder go? No matter. Li Qingyun chose the middle intersection and rushed in decisively. The thing following Li Qingyun also couldn't sense Li Qingyun's position at this intersection. It gritted its teeth and rushed into the leftmost intersection. Li Qingyun slowly put Yang Hai Aoshue down, leaned her against the cave wall on one side, and put his arm behind her waist to cushion her. He looked at the person in his arms and found that Yang Hai Aoshue's face was flushed, her red lips were slightly open, she was panting, and her whole body was limp, but there was a hint of expectation in her eyes when she looked at Li Qingyun. Are you injured? Li Qingyun was shocked. In his heart, he immediately began to blame himself for complaining to Yang Hai Aoshue just now. It was obviously that thing that attacked Yang Hai Aoshue just now, but he still said in his heart that she was a loser. Where are you injured? Li Qingyun said anxiously, and his eyes quickly swept over Yang Hai Aoshue. Having adapted to the light in the cave, Li Qingyun, whose spiritual power realm has reached the spiritual power transformation, has already acquired the ability of night vision. At this time, he saw. Yang Hai Aoshue's face was not only flushed, but her snow-white skin also began to emit an attractive pink color, especially the skin on her long legs and thighs. At this time, her clothes were scattered, revealing other attractive parts. There was no external injury. Could it be internal injury? The skin was red, and the face was very painful. Could it be poisoned? It must be. Elder Yang, are you poisoned? Li Qingyun asked anxiously. He saw that Yang Hai Aoshue had bitten her red lips, frowned, looked at him with a painful face, and had difficulty breathing. Even her body had begun to twist. The injury was obviously aggravated. He was very anxious. Speak, Elder Yang. Yang Hai Aoshue said tremblingly, don't. What? Li Qingyun put his ear close to Yang Hai Aoshue's mouth. Huh. Yang Hai Aoshue exhaled like orchid, panting in Li Qingyun's ear, and said intermittently, don't touch my waist. Oh. Li Qingyun pulled his hand out from behind Yang Hai Aoshue as if it had touched a burning coal. Yang Hai Aoshue pushed Li Qingyun away, and then a chilling cold aura emanated from her body. In an instant, the scene that had just made Li Qingyun very worried disappeared, and Yang Hai Aoshue returned to her usual cold state. Humph! Yang Hai Aoshue glared at Li Qingyun fiercely, turned her head and walked forward, no longer paying attention to Li Qingyun. Hey, don't ignore me. Li Qingyun hurriedly caught up. What's wrong with this woman? Why doesn't she ignore me when she doesn't understand or not, and just throws a tantrum? Ah, women are so troublesome, and it's so hard to be a man. In a hurry to save people, you can't even touch them. In a crisis, how could this sect master have any improper intentions? Humph. Woman. But even though he thought so in his heart, on the surface, Li Qingyun still followed Yang Hai Aoshue happily. Elder Yang, can you tell where this place is? But when saying this, Li Qingyun looked at the cave. This was the road in the middle of the three intersections. At this time, the front of the cave was no longer a rough dirt road or stone road, but a big yellow door with a big character written on it. Li Qingyun looked for a long time, but couldn't see any mechanism on the door. Yang Hai Aoshue had calmed down by now, and said in a cold voice, "The thing that chased us just now was not a spirit, the spirit is in another passage. If I guessed correctly, the thing just now should be called a mandrill. Whether it is a mandrill or a spirit, they should be creatures in this cave. They drove us here, and they must have their purpose. And the road we took, the heaven level, is obviously the most difficult of the three roads. Ding, activate the task, Lost Cave, task requirements, complete the clearance conditions required by the cave spirit, and return to the sect alive. Task reward, 1, immediately transform a building. 2, 1000 genius points. Failure penalty, die here. Li Qingyun touched his chin. Sure enough, the system may be late, but it will never be absent.